Some of the specific challenges prior to the WMS is that we were just constantly in firefighting mode. The guys in the warehouse might as well have been wearing fireman's hats because all they did is react to emergencies. And the emergencies were created by our inability to control the inventory. We were growing at 20% annually and have been for the last 5 years. And there's no way that we could have been successful without knowing where the inventory was, and we really didn't know where it was.
The order pickers were giving a sheet of paper and saying, here, go pull this order out in the warehouse. A lot of times, the order pickers didn't know where the stuff was. They come back to us and say, okay, we pulled this amount of product, but this one we can't find. So we spent a lot of time in the warehouse looking for the items themselves so we can fulfill the customer's orders. And a lot of times it showed we had the product, but we didn't know where it was.
We were spending a disproportionate amount of money on inventory, and you can't do that. We are dealing with a more sophisticated consumer base than we used to, whereas probably at $30 million, 85% of our volume was all independents and small independent restaurateurs. The reality is the chains and multi-units and the larger corporations are the growth vehicle in our industry, and they are a much more sophisticated buyer. So we have to be a much more sophisticated service provider, which means we needed this kind of technology to keep abreast.
Our order pickers did pick 35 to 40 lines an hour in the paper environment. And now with the warehouse management system, the order pickers in the main warehouse, the main zone, pick 60 or 70 lines an hour. So, that's doubled. And that doesn't even include the gains that we've achieved with the Carousel.
We don't have what you might consider a typical WMS. Our warehouse management system is also a warehouse control system. That enables us to do things that a lot of WMS companies can't do. We can implement just warehouse control systems or WMS and WCS systems where we're going to control just carousels and maybe we're not doing the rest of the operation, or we can intermingle warehouse automation within a warehouse and all directly control that with our warehouse librarian, warehouse management and control system.
They really got to understand our business. They listened. They asked really good questions, and they kind of got inside our skin.
They had challenges with inventory accuracy, order accuracy, labor and efficiency, order turnaround, and managing growth.
They understood the pots and pans business, and yet they didn't deviate from the core that the WMS brought. And that was really valuable, real valuable to us.
They're able to achieve high accuracy numbers, inventory accuracy over 99% today, and extremely high order accuracy and order turnaround times because the warehouse management and control system guides them through every step of the operation. It finds the locations to put product away in, it routes them to put product away in a forward pick location or an overstock location, and it keeps track of where all the inventory is in the warehouse. And it automates things like the picking process, routing the warehouse associate through the warehouse, replenishment processes, an integrated cycle counting program. All of that is automated and operator directed through radio frequency equipment and through the computer software. So previous to that, warehouse associates had to remember where everything was at, and their system didn't exactly keep track of where everything was at. So there was extensive labor, excess labor spent looking and searching, and then redundant data entry labor. And all those things add up to slowing down the warehouse operation.
When we implemented it, again, I don't know that there are any implementations that are easy. There were just a lot of factors in our company that resisted it, and Intech just stuck with their guns, and they were always there. They were always there with us through thick and thin.
With all of the growth, we were faced with having to acquire more warehouse space.
About a year later, in our distribution center, we had a lot of efficiencies, but again, with our growth, we realized that it was time to implement the Carousel system.
Many people remember white systems as the garment conveyor. People, when you go into any dry cleaner in the United States, 99% of those are white systems. That evolved in the 60s and early 70s into these carousels that you see in front of them. They're called horizontal carousels. We also provide vertical storage solutions and many other types of storage and retrieval systems.
What the Carousel enabled us to do was continue to grow within the confines for a few more years.
They had a significant space utilization problem, and it really solved a picking productivity issue. It dramatically improved their pick rates for those items that we put in the Carousel, and it dramatically improved the pick rates out on the floor by moving a lot of that small product up off of the floor. So they got efficient throughout the warehouse, not just with the items that we put in the Carousel.
In this case, you'll see that 40% of the SKUs that Bargreen Ellingson has are able to be put into a forward pick location here in this, we call it a pod of horizontal carousels.
The carousel system from White Systems has paid for itself within 2 years and continues to pay for itself on an ongoing basis.
As far as gaining in efficiency, a big part was labor. I mean, the order pickers, the receivers, the put away people, and the order pickers are much more efficient because they know where the product is. And they get commands electronically as opposed to having to stop once they're done with a batch, coming back to an office area, getting another batch of papers, and then heading out again. It's just nonstop right now.
Our customers are extremely happy because we're able to fill their orders in full without having any back orders. We're able to present the product to the customer without it being mispicked or misshipped. They come to us because they know we can deliver to what they want.
It's enabled us to grow our business significantly, more profitably as well. I can't imagine operating the way we did prior to 2000 and doing what we're doing in terms of sales volume now. We couldn't.